evening. I feel honoured to be here among renowned and educated speakers. I feel a bit like an insignificant being, but anyway. I'm Harriet and I'm 25 and I grew up in Belfast in Northern Ireland and now I study medicine at Lancaster University. I have anorexia nervosa and I want to use my experiences to give people a better understanding of the eating disorders and to give hope to those still suffering. So far I've spoken to newspapers, posted on social media and created a video called Skin Deep with Fixers, a charity that helps young people create ideas. I had anorexia before anyone knew anything was wrong. I had anorexia long before I knew anything was wrong. For I too had this belief that anorexia was just about being thin. I am in recovery, and recovery means challenging myself on a daily basis and making me believe that actually I do deserve to eat like everyone else. I wrote this talk not to educate you on the etiology or management of anorexia nervosa, but to give you an insight into what it's like to live with and what the journey through recovery is like. My journey started when I was 13. I went through puberty and naturally slimmed down. I was praised for losing weight, and people were in awe of how much dedication I had and how much willpower I had. The pathological changes, however, were invisible and they were occurring in my brain long before my body would display such ill health. In order to prevent a chronic course of anorexia, it has to be caught before these changes on the body occur. And so here lies a problem. How in a society where health and fitness are to be praised and accepted as social norms can be distinguished between normal dieting and dieting for disordered reasons. But social norms quickly fall by the wayside in anorexia nervosa. Whilst dieting is about getting the body in a healthier state, anorexia is a way of blocking out all the noise in the world and burying our emotions in an aura of starvation. There are no treat days in anorexia. Every day is bound by rules. We become isolated and we lose the life in our eyes. We are tricked into believing that we are still in control, and so it consumes us. And so back to the title of this talk, the word consumption. It's derived from Latin, meaning using up. Anorexia uses up every last morsel and energy and space in your brain. The dictionary gives it the following definitions. Definition 1, the act of consuming. Anorexia can make people consume minute portions of food, but such restriction makes us more and more obsessed with what foods we can and cannot allow ourselves to consume. Number 2, it is the use of something. Anorexia uses the body to display the anguish going on in our minds. Our body pays the price for each failure we feel we make and uses food as reward or punishment. 3, it is a progressive wasting. Maybe the most widely known feature of anorexia nervosa, loved particularly by the media, but actually this is a very late sign in anorexia. Once it has zapped all our inner self-belief, it attacks our physical body. At this point, the person you once knew is no longer in control. And just as an infection starts as a microscopic organism and manifests when it reaches its peak, so anorexia is now at its peak strength and the person has become physically wasted. The pathological thinking of the eating disorder, though, still drives you for the only thing that will satisfy it, more weight loss, not for vanity, but for a feeling of power and mastery. This is inevitably a false dichotomy. As the stronger the eating disorder gets, the weaker and more apathetic you become. So, you may sit there and think, well, start eating a bit more. Top tip, if you forget everything else I said, remember this. Don't tell someone with an eating disorder to just go eat some cake. Don't comment on how well they look due to their weight gain and recovery. And don't go on about how you wish you had our motivation. I'm training to be a doctor. I know about energy usage and BMI, but the eating disorder is a psychiatric illness with structural and chemical changes in the brain that puts almost delusional beliefs in my mind. I like to explain the eating disorder with a metaphor, both for those with no experience of eating disorders, but also for those in the midst of the illness. The eating disorder creates a canyon. On one sunny side of the canyon are your friends and family. You stand on the other side, alone and against a storm. The rules are different on your side of the canyon. You don't need food to survive. You survive using a cloak of starvation. Your friends and family watch passively from the other side. trying to shout across to you as they watch you fade away. But the eating disorder has given you earmuffs and you can no longer hear what they say. Eventually, the cloak isn't comfortable anymore and it gets heavy, and so you give up. And now you stop, lie down and wait for the eating disorder to consume you and to make you a statistic, not a person. As you lie down with the cloak of starvation, you look up and see sun and blue skies. Despite now hearing your friends and family shouting across to you to get out of the storm. Your family now stop passively waiting and watching and give up much of their own life in an attempt to reach you. They pick you up, they leave the cloak behind and drag you back to their side, and in doing so, leaving your eating disorder behind. Without it on their side, you're cold and scared, vulnerable, but you're given no choice. Like it or not, you will eat and you will face the feelings of failure and disgust and despair. It feels overwhelming. You don't look back and see the storm they said was on your side. You see happiness and warmth and comfort. They've cured your body, but they've left behind your mind. And so you retreat back to the storm, and so it consumes you again. Eventually, someone new arrives and walks with you across the canyon and helps you how to learn to live without the eating disorder. You grow not only physically, but mentally with resilience and strength. You begin to take charge of your own recovery, for you see that no one else can save you. You realise life over here with everyone else is actually okay. One day you sit on the side of the canyon and look back over to your old side, and you accept that it was once a place of comfort and security. But actually, life over here is better. You feel sadness, but at least you can feel the happiness too. You walk away from the edge, turn your back towards your old side, and turn towards the life you now have. Gradually, the glances back get fewer. The memories of the journey remain. They are part of you, but now you have new goals in life. You've learnt not to let the low points consume you and to be the end, but instead, just as an epic symphony is made of highs and lows, so we need to experience these gradients to live, not just survive.